So welcome back to the Boot Room podcast. It's not just me. Jamie's having severe technical difficulties, but I'm joined by Worthing's finest, Brad Dolaghan. So thank you to Brad for joining me today.
No worries, no worries. It's a pleasure.
So again, everyone knows the story. Recent promotion with Worthing has been quite a year, but we're going to start off with your early days in football. So again, do tell us again. Sorry about this. Your early days growing up as a Spurs fan. Obviously, got the scarf behind me, which is brilliant to see. But yeah, so growing up as a Spurs fan around Worthing. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, no, just whole family supports Spurs, so sort of just kind of, I don't know, just put into a Spurs shirt at a young age, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, I do enjoy it, but it's had its low moments, especially recently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then just followed Worthing a little bit as well, like living around the area. Like, it's good to go see the local football. And when I was younger, Adam was my coach, Hinchelwood the gaffer. Now he was my coach. And knew he was a gaffer at Worthing at the time. I think we're looking at like 2014 sort of time, and just went down there a couple of times with my dad, like liked it and everything, and then they introduced the academy system, and then just ended up going in from there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, actually, I have got some second and third sort of family that do live in Worthing. So since I've sort of been, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, we've always been going down to Worthing. They were there a few months ago, actually. Now, I'm not sure if you know the area, but there's a place called Sea Lanes Cafe. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I know Sea Lane Cafe well, yeah.
You do, yeah. So that's always been a family favourite for breakfast, for lunch, that sort of thing. But yeah, no. So I'm also fairly familiar with Worthing, the area. We were in Lancing the other day on the beach on Bank Holiday.
Yeah, I know everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I've grown up fairly familiar with it. And just as we finish that topic, Jamie's back.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not my greatest friend today. Usually you're the one with the bad Wi-Fi, but today it's me.
Yeah, the joke's backfired, doesn't it?
Unfortunately so.
So we were just finishing up talking about early days in football, so you haven't missed much at all. So obviously you joined Worthing's academy at a fairly young age. Now, obviously, look, it's everyone's dream to join an academy when they're young, to try and get themselves up to a certain level. So what was it like for you in terms of mentally and preparing yourself to join the academy?
Yeah, it was just like, it was probably not like, academy sounds like proper like Brighton Academy, like it was more of like everyone wanted to be in Brighton's academy, but Worthing was probably the next best thing if you weren't getting into Brighton at the time. And my first sort of like memories from joining was I was the first team they ever had at youth level. It was like called the Development Centre from a young age. I think I was about 9 or 10. Got in, and like the same faces that were coaching me then are now coaching me and still part of the club now. So it's pretty familiar still. But yeah, we got in, just training, and then they introduced under 14s, under 15s, under 16s, and under 18s team. And my team at the time, because I was doing the Worthing Development Centre sort of like on a Friday night, and then playing for my team, which was Rustington Otters, and then they all moved to Worthing and like sort of created the Worthing team. So yeah, just went over and joined Worthing 14s and didn't really look back from there, really.
I think it's a lot of people's dreams to live in seaside towns, maybe not in the UK, but around the world, but you're privileged to live in Worthing. So what's it like for you to be in Worthing all the time by the seaside? It must be a much calmer way of life down there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I absolutely hate the beach. Like, I'll be brutally honest, I don't like it at all. It's all right when you're walking on the promenade next to it and everything. I just hate sand. I mean, there's not much sand kicking about down there. There's a lot of pebbles, but I just don't really like sand too much, and don't really like the sea. I'm like quite sort of scared of like what's in the ocean. Branching off a little bit here, but so yeah, but no, it's good. Like Worthing is a great town. Like it's quite small. There's quite a lot of people now. Like I mean, driving around today was pretty busy, but the weather's hot. Everyone heading down the beach and everything. But yeah, no, it's all right. Not too bad. It's got its benefits, and it's also got its setbacks. But you know. Every town does.
I mean, Worthing's definitely a stadium on my list that I want to go to, Jamie. I'm sure you're more than welcome to join me if you want. We go to these many, the National League, sort of lower league grounds together. But as I was going to mention before, obviously, yeah, it's an area that I said I grew up fairly familiar with. But you are right about the beach. There's not much sand there. It's very stony, very pebbly. I do have to agree with you about the sand. I mean, we went to Lancing the other day, as I mentioned to you, and there's a lot of sand there, and you sort of sat on the towel, and before you know it, you're covered, everything's covered in it, and it's nightmare to get off.
Generally, I went down the beach on Monday bank holiday, and I just put my feet in the water, and it got so much sand on it. It was like I couldn't deal with it. I was like, I've got to get out of it. I've got to touch some grass.
Touch grass, yeah. I mean, you do that quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, you've done that quite a lot this season, haven't you? Touching grass, you scored quite a few goals on it as well. So
yeah, I know. Grass is just like my second home. Could sleep on it.
Could I ask? Could I
Yeah.
ask you then? Obviously, for the off season, I know we're jumping off topic just a tiny bit. Maybe we all want to be flight attendants in an alternative life. But when you do go on the off season and you're away from football, where do you like to go? Because I'm presuming it's not going to be a seaside destination.
For me personally, like my favourite place to go is Asia. I haven't gone this year, probably because a lot of the people I'd like to travel with aren't available for a long 2 to 3 week trip to Asia. So last year, fortunately, I went over with West Ham to Hong Kong, sort of like tied it in with there. But yeah, Asia's just brilliant. Like, it's just such an amazing part of the world, and I think like just to go there, like just for 2 weeks, I think you have to go there for longer than a week because of the flight being so long. But it's just amazing, like culture and everything is just so different. Like it just takes your breath away, really.
For sure, and also about culture, there's also a lot of food in Asia that we obviously don't. We get the sort of like English versions of it, but I'm sure it's so much
Yeah.
nicer and pure and natural out there.
Oh yeah.
But what's your favourite international cuisine? Because that's something we do mention quite a lot on the podcast.
International cuisine. Oh, do like a curry. A curry is like a go-to. Like every single birthday, except from actually, I had to go New Year's Eve because we had Dorking on my birthday, so we can't have a curry pre-match. But it's always a curry. But like Chinese is brilliant. Like, especially the food over there as well. Like, it's just
Yeah, Chinese is lovely.
It's true. I'm a big fan of the
Yeah.
old salted pepper. But anyway, we're completely going off topic here. We're here to speak about Brad. So, Brad, could you talk to us then about your loan experiences down in the lower leagues? Obviously, Littlehampton came up, and you know it's sort of like you're ticking off these lower league sides. But you did get a whole load of experience when you were there.
Yeah, so before I was at Littlehampton and when I was playing for the under-18s, I went to Selsey and was playing in their step, I think 6. And to be honest with you, I hardly touch the grass, mate. Like, I was on the bench constantly, and when I would come on, I think I'd do all right. Only club I've never scored for up to this point. And yeah, that was proper hard at the time because I felt like I was scoring loads for the 18s, and then you get thrown into a step 6 game, and like you're like, bloody hell, like this is so different, and like the change room's different, and you're a bit intimidated by it, and that I think made the transition when I went into the first team and Littlehampton a lot more smoother. When I went into Littlehampton, I sort of already had that experience in the dressing room and sort of knew there was going to be a couple of characters in there, but the Littlehampton dressing room was absolutely amazing, and they get a lot of stick as a club, but they were a brilliant club, such a tight-knit dressing room, and yeah, gave me the platform to thrive really after I got a good run of games, because at the start of the season like, I wasn't really getting a sniff and got given an opportunity, and I took it really.
I think people also do, like generally speaking, football fans do always underestimate just how difficult these lower leagues are, because people will sit there and say, I could do a job in the Championship, League One, League Two. But you mentioned there with, you know, struggling to get minutes with Selsey and Littlehampton as well, that obviously the competition and the level of football and you know, the whole style must be so difficult to even get minutes in.
Yeah, it's not like for some clubs like I experienced, like you could be the best player there, but like if you don't suit the system, like you're not going to play, because at the end of the day, like these people are like the same with Worthing. Like this is everything. Like this isn't youth football anymore. Like where we'll let him play as he didn't play last week, sort of thing. It's now we need 3 points. We're going to play the best team available. 3 points. I don't really care if you scored 150 goals. Under 18s, that means nothing now, mate. Like this is men's football. So it was good. It was really good. It was really humbling, and yeah, set me up for when I went back into Worthing, really.
And obviously you had the Worthing breakthrough, as we might call it, in 2024. I believe your senior debut was actually against Littlehampton Town.
Yeah, it was, in the Sussex Senior Cup. There was 3 of us who were out on loan at Littlehampton, and I missed one of the earlier rounds of the Sussex Senior Cup, so I wasn't cup tied. So when Worthing said, look, like we want to play a couple of youngsters, I was the only one available. So I came on with 20 minutes to go, and yeah, we actually lost on pens. But that was my debut, playing against pretty much everyone that I trained with like the week before. I'd be playing with on the Saturday before as well. So yeah, it was a weird experience. And then played them on the Tuesday night, and then on the Saturday I started for Littlehampton. I scored my first goal in men's football actually that same week. So yeah, it was a pretty decent week actually.
And what were the reactions like of obviously the former players, if you like, that you played against? Because one minute you're with them, one moment you're not, and then you score and you know, and then you play against them.
Yeah, I think it was all pretty friendly. Like, there's not really any bad feelings. Like, I'm still at the time. I think I was only 18, so there's no bad feelings at all there. Like, they know that I'm on loan there, and there's not a guarantee that I'm going to be on loan there for the whole season. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm an all right lad, so I don't think they would hate me for it. And I didn't do anything in the game to make them annoyed or anything. So yeah, it was
The
all right.
first senior goal that you had was against Farnborough, which obviously Harry and I know quite well through Ben Mason.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through the
do, yeah.
feeling of scoring your first senior goal?
Yeah, that was it was a weird feeling because I'd played a couple games and then played all right, but I hadn't really scored. And then obviously with Adam leaving and Aaron Racine coming in, who I'd known for years and years and stuff, and I was getting on the bench a lot, not really getting on. And then I think we were 2-0 down or 2-1 down, 3-1 down actually against Farnborough. And got the nod to come on and like just was like, this is my moment sort of thing. And like to score, like the ball just fell to me. It was a typical Brad goal, as they call it, just inside the 6-yard box. Put it away, and I think we pulled back to 3-2, but just the feeling of scoring was like, just couldn't believe it at the time. I remember going home. I've actually got the ball from the game in my room. Just couldn't believe it that I'd scored for the first team. It's just a proper surreal feeling.
It is a thing that obviously Jamie and I would love to experience one day. We probably won't, unfortunately. But obviously, I know you mentioned that it made it 3-2, so you were sort of clawing yourself back into the game. Now, had that been a different outcome and you had gone, I don't know, 2-3-0 up, what would your celebration have been?
The shirt might have come off.
Yeah.
Nah, the shirt wouldn't have come off. I haven't got the physique for that, I don't think. But like, it would have been
Like Chinese.
maybe, yeah. No, that's a good one. Sorry, that's caught me right off guard. But yeah, no, I would have been absolutely buzzing. I would have been running to the corner flag. Wouldn't have known what to do, I don't think. Like, just a moment like that, obviously when it was 3-2, like, it was a bit like, well, I can't really celebrate too much. But after the game, a lot of the boys were like, well done, mate. Like the result didn't go away, like buzzing for you and everything.
When you obviously do really well and in the National League and the leagues around that, you often do get interest from Premier League or, if you're lucky, a Watford side in the Championship or someone like that. So you ended up moving to West Ham in 2024. Wow, what a feeling that must have been to be able to sign for West Ham.
Yeah, it was mental, to be honest. Obviously a Spurs fan, it was a bit weird, to be honest. Like, I mean, for me, like, there was always the dream of making it like to the professional level, but to play for a team like West Ham was like something that deep down I'd probably like written off really. Seen quite a few lads like Fletcher Holman like getting into Wolves and stuff, and I remember looking at that thinking, bloody hell, could that be me? And not really like having belief in myself to get that high. I believe in myself, but to get to a Premier League level was it's quite a jump. But yeah, it was just unbelievable. And, like the moment when I heard they wanted me on trial, I just couldn't believe it. And like, yeah, I don't think anyone else could really either.
What was your family's reaction though? I mean, coming from a Spurs background, was there any few like jokey sort of jokes between family members, or was it all just it's good that you're signing a professional contract with a club no matter what the team is?
I think what I found out really with family and stuff is that so many people don't actually realise how like, I don't know, how serious that was. Like for me to go into the 21s, I think a lot of people were like, oh, it's just 21s. Like, oh. I was like, this is actually like proper serious. This is like one below the first team. This is like my opportunity. This is my chance. You can't go there. You're a Spurs fan. I'm like, I'm monkeys. I could be a Millwall fan. I'm still going.
Yeah.
It was a family one was a weird one. Obviously, they were absolutely buzzing. I think my dad's first reaction was, "What? West Ham? Can't be serious." But yeah, no, it was unbelievable experience and stuff, and yeah, family obviously buzzing for me and stuff.
I've managed to remember the question before the Wi-Fi decided to die on me. So obviously being a Spurs fan this season and the last few seasons when you've started to take football even more seriously, have you been able to get down to the old Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to cheer on the mighty Spurs?
So this was also something that we struggled with when I went to West Ham, is that if you boys probably weren't, not many people were, but when you followed me before I was playing for Worthing, or when I was playing for Worthing, I went to Spurs home and away, and a little story highlight from all the games and everything, and took it proper seriously and like really followed Spurs. And I think as I started playing for Worthing, I went to West Ham away, and we played them on a Tuesday night, and we drew 1-1, and I was at the London Stadium and everything, and so that was pretty surreal. Like then 2 weeks later, be like in and around like with those first team boys. But nowadays, I mean, with the football going on and everything, like I've sort of taken not as much of a backseat as you probably think, but like still follow it. But it's hard when I'm playing at 3 o'clock and Tottenham are playing at 3 o'clock, and when Tottenham aren't doing well, and I say Worthing aren't doing very well, it's a misery compiler. You come home from the game, so I've like not been too focused on it. I don't think if this season happened maybe 3-4 years ago, there would have been so many tears. But because of my own football, it takes priority. It sort of like takes a bit of a back seat. But at the end of the season, I managed to get to Villa away and Leeds at home. So yeah,
Villa away was quite a good one, wasn't it?
Probably the best game of the season.
Yeah.
And I managed to go. Me and my dad went up there, and a mate of mine, and yeah, it was a brilliant away day. And probably one, yeah, I didn't expect that. It's probably one of the best away days I've been to, and didn't expect it at all. So yeah, it was brilliant.
I also think that was a game that has given us that. I mean, I think to put it simply, if we had not won that game, I think we would have gone down because it was no one expected us to win. I think we went into that game thinking to get a point will be a miracle, but to come out with all three was unbelievable. And I think the way we played in that game was so composed. You know, we were making forward passes, which was under Frank and Tudor. We were going sideways and backwards, so it was like a fresh revelation of tactics as well. But also happy for Gallagher to score his first goal because I know there's quality in there, but Tudor couldn't unlock it. Well, Tudor wasn't a fan of him either, was he? And then to get the second through with Richarlison, that gave us that sort of cushion. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that was our best performance of the season, the most important, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was absolute delirium in the away end. Especially when Richarlison scored, because I think no one could believe it.
Yeah.
So we were 2-0 up. 2-0 away from home. We were like, what's going on?
I know. That's the deserving effect, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I'd fallen over. I was on the floor. I had some random geezer on top of me. It was, pretty mental limbs.
You want to take a step back because you're playing at 3 p.m. the following Saturday. So they got.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm still recovering from this ankle injury, lads. Stadium.
Can I ask you about your time in Hong Kong? You mentioned there that you love Asia. I've never been to Asia. I mean, unless Sharm el Sheikh counts, I don't think it does. But Hong Kong, well, I don't know if it does because it is right next to Saudi, so maybe I can count it. But you were in Hong Kong with West Ham. What was that experience like for you? Because you put in some really good displays.
Yeah, it was pretty weird, really. I was just training with them at Rush Green, and one of the coaches said, "Oh, have you got any holidays booked?" And I went, "No, not at the moment. I'm going to the Euros, but apart from that, like that's ages away, no." And he goes, "Fancy going to Hong Kong?" And I went, "What?" I was like, is he like asking me out or like what's going on here? Like, because I didn't have a Scooby what this tournament was. I found it, and I just went, "Yeah, what's it for?" And he said, "Oh, we're taking a team out there." And I was like, joking, couldn't believe it. And I'd actually been to Hong Kong twice before on family holidays because my dad does quite a lot of business out there. So when I tell my dad's like, "Oh my word, this is unbelievable." It wasn't confirmed until like the week before, but it was a mental experience. Like just being there on holidays and the experience in itself, but to be able to play football against other academy lads, like first time I've probably done that, like at my age. Yeah, it was just unbelievable. Just thinking about it, like so many good memories, and like to be fair to the West Ham boys at the time, I'd only been there 2 weeks, but they all took me under their wing and like treated me as I'd been there years. So.
Can really I say, sorry, Harry, just about this whole culture of Hong Kong? I want to speak about the players that you worked with and things like that. But obviously, we have to start with Hong Kong. I know someone that goes out there and has been out there before, and he absolutely loves Hong Kong. So, what is it that you like about Hong Kong, and what is the food like there over there compared to China and the closer countries?
Yeah, I mean the food in Hong Kong. I mean, I've been to China. I think I can't really remember.
Think you went to China?
Quite a while, like when I was really young. I'm not sure if it counts if it's still Hong Kong or not. But the food. I mean, I'm assuming it's pretty much the same. It was kind of the same in Malaysia when I went to Malaysia. It's a lot of like what you'd expect, but the quality is just like up here, like compared to it in England. But I remember we having sweet and sour pork in the hotel, and I thought it was sweet and sour chicken, and I'm not a big lover of pork. And I've been straight into this bit of pork, thinking of chicken. Oh, mate, I genuinely felt so sick. Like, you know when you like think something's going to be something, and then it's completely different.
It's the opposite.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful.
Oh,
but the food, like, it's just like the weather, like the buildings, everything. You just feel like you're just in a massive like city, but it's boiling hot. Like, it's just such a like I can't describe like how different it is like compared to here. It's like being in like New York, like times 10. The weather's really hot, and then it'll chuck it down. It'll still be boiling hot, and and the food's unreal.
So you'd recommend us to go there then, yeah?
100%. And like, a lot of people speak English, so you won't have too many
Good.
barriers.
It's the only language
Okay.
I bloody speak. Unless they speak Dutch, then Harry could do some Dutch with them. But
Only a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come across any people from the Netherlands, except from AZ Alkmaar the second time round. But yeah, you'd be right if you speak English.
Sounds good. But what I was going to ask before you sort of touched upon it was, obviously you said you'd only been there 2 weeks, but they took you under their wing, made you feel one of them.
Yeah.
Now, personally for you initially, were you worried before joining? Because it is a big step up.
Yeah, 100%. Like when I first went in, I was just like, look, this is an amazing experience. Even if I look like a mug, like I'm nowhere near the level, it's a great experience. My first training session, like Freddie Potts, like all in there, like
Yeah.
Gideon Kadoa, who's now playing for Luton and stuff, like are all there, and I'm just like, I don't really know who any of these people are. People coming back from loans at league clubs, and when we went on the pitch, and my first experience was going on the pitch, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like grass, wet pitch. Like, I mean, that sounds so just the standard, but like at our level, it's mud. Like, there's not too many. Like the best pitch I played on before that was probably Yeovil. So yeah, it was pretty just surreal to be on like a water sprinkle like pitch, and the ball was just zipping about. And I remember Freddie Potts pieced the ball into me, and these Premier League balls are so light compared to these like Mitre and the New Balance National League balls. And I remember I just took a touch, and fortunately it was a decent touch. But I was like, oh my word, I've got to fizz these balls in. I was like, so if I was to take a pass, it'd be a nice delicate one, like a bit nervous, take the safety catch off. But yeah, that was my first experience. I was just like, oh my days, this is like levels.
Yeah.
I've just got to like strive towards it. This is what I want to do, and yeah, I managed to do that really.
It's good to hear you've got some international footballing experience. I mean, the closest that Harry and I could probably come to that is playing on holiday in the all-inclusive or on the beach. But when you are in a place like Hong Kong and you are away from what is normal life, how different does football feel? Because it feels to me like from the outside looking in, you're living the dream.
It is the dream, yeah. For me, like a lot. This is the one thing I'd probably say about like the people who were in the academies at the time. They don't know how lucky they are. They genuinely don't know how lucky they are, because like people, like even just all three of us, our dream when we were like 5 years old is to be a professional footballer. And then when I go in there and I'm like, this is unbelievable, and some of the lads are going, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. Like, and I'm like, I'm doing everything I can, like blood, sweat and tears to get in this place, and you want to leave.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. And like, they were saying, oh, the facilities are crap. I'm thinking, just try going down Littlehampton, mate. Like, this is unbelievable. And like, they're quite a few of them are quite big time entitled, but that's just the way they've been brought up. They've always had it, so they don't know anything else. And like, you can't really blame them, really. But for me, like, I was doing the polar opposite. I was going from not nothing, but like from quite a low level to that within the space of 6 months was like mental.
And you had quite a few highs as well. Now, I think personally for me, I mean, if I scored against Benfica B and Bilbao B, that would be plastered all over my wall, all over my social media. So imagine for you, there must have been a proper high moment, because that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, I mean, that Benfica game, I don't really remember too much of it, because the ending was just like I scored the equaliser. And I think, like, you can see from the clip, I've scored, I've wheeled away, knee slide. All the other boys pick the ball out of the net, run back. And I was like, knee slide on my own. Because that moment, our first goal against Benfica as well, was just like, it was my first start at Dagenham as well. I was just like, I was just like pure limbs. Like, just didn't even know where like, just knee sliding. Like, it's just what you dream of, really. Like, scoring against a team like Benfica, playing for West Ham. Like, at that point in time, like, I couldn't think of anything better, really. Like, it went perfect. And then Bilbao the same. I mean, I come off the bench, scored a brace, and like, really at that point, really thought I'd kick on, and it didn't really happen. But unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, that 2-week spell, I was on the bench against Man City, on the bench against Chelsea, and like a year before that, I wasn't even making the bench for Littlehampton, so it was pretty mental.
Come a long way in only a few years. I really want to touch upon Aldershot, because you won a trophy there, and I think the club hadn't won a trophy there for God knows how long. And you were
Yeah.
there from the February, I believe, but you were working with Hugo Langton, who obviously we had the pleasure of interviewing. So what was Hugo's experience like off the pitch to a young player like you?
I know that everyone at Aldershot, like, I didn't have the greatest of times there or greatest of spells. Um, but everyone off the pitch was brilliant. Like, that from the gaffer down to the physios, like, really, really nice people and, like, really had everyone's best interests at heart. And I was buzzing that we won the FA Trophy, although it would have been nice to play a part of it. At the back of the bench as, like, the 20th, 19th man sort of person. But yeah, everyone was brilliant, especially Hugo. Like, there's a lot of times where I was pretty frustrated not playing. But yeah, they were all pretty good with me.
But again, speaking about obviously childhood dreams, I mean, all our childhood dreams would be to even touch the seat of Wembley one time. So for you
Some
to actually
pages of a
be part of
dream.
the exactly, yeah. So for you to actually be there and being around Wembley and using the change rooms, etc. I mean, imagine that's still something that you'll carry with you for life, just because of how
Yeah,
much it means.
yeah, 100%. I have quite a lot of banter with my dad because whenever we see Wembley on the screen or anything, I go, "Oh, I've played on that pitch," and he goes, "No, you haven't." And I'm like, "Yeah," because technically I have, but technically I haven't. But I remember at the time, I was getting really excited for it, and when we got there, and like, at the time wasn't really playing at all, wasn't even making the squad in the National League. So my dad was sort of, as dads do, sort of trying not to get him too excited. I was like, "Look, like, you're probably not going to play. Don't get too excited." And I was just saying to him, like, just to be a part of it, just to be in the change room, just to experience walking out the tunnel, just to touch the grass. It's just the experience in itself. And like, so many high level footballers dream of playing at Wembley and never do. So for me to be playing at it at such a young age was just an unbelievable experience.
I wouldn't class you as someone who's cocky, but you mentioned there that you were frustrated to not be able to play a lot of games at Aldershot.
Yeah.
But could I ask you, when you're coming from a Premier League academy, now Championship academy, like West Ham, going into a side in the National League, you are probably expecting to perhaps start more games than what you ended up doing. So for a player like yourself,
Yeah,
how does that feel?
yeah. I think it was less more like, yeah, it was less of me being like, "I'm coming from a
Mm,
Premier League club, I should be playing," sort of thing. It was more that I was told I was going to get given an
Mm,
opportunity,
mm.
and I didn't really get what I was sort of
mhm.
promised. But as I said before, that's football, right? There's no promises in football, right? I could have gone there and then I start first game, score, and then end up scoring loads, and ends up being an unbelievable loan period. And West Ham offered me a new contract, but it was a complete opposite of that. But then this season, like, seek the rewards of staying hardworking, dedicated through those times where it was really tough. And yeah, it was tough not playing because it was tough at West Ham not playing, and I sort of was like, right, I'm going to take a bit of a punt on myself, like, I back myself. I want to go out on loan, prove that I can play in the National League, and didn't really get the opportunity to prove myself. So I was even more frustrated that I'd sort of backed myself, and then unfortunately not really get the opportunity to, showcase myself. But yeah, made a lot of good friends there, and there's a lot of positives to come out from it. So
Could I ask? Sorry, I'm quite curious to know what it's like off the pitch for yourself. Obviously, moving from Worthing to London and then Aldershot, whatever. What was the housing situation like for you? Were you
Mm.
having to move 24/7?
yeah, so the housing situation from the move to Aldershot was kind of a shambles. I'll be brutally honest, and was something that I've learnt from, and now we can sort of move past. But yeah, when I was at Worthing, just living at home like I am now. Went to West Ham, was living in digs with quite a lot of the boys, and then when Aldershot came in for me, I sort of was like, right, where am I going to live? And they were like, look, you can live at the players' house, and I was like, perfect. It got to like the day before I was supposed to be going there, and still didn't know the address, and then I ended up sleeping at Aaron Jones and Ollie Scott's flat in Shepperton in London
Everton.
in the like living room because I had nowhere to go. So I stayed there for the first week, and then I ended up having to commute from West Ham, from my digs in West Ham to Aldershot every morning at like 6, half 6 in the morning, just to get there on time for training because it would take about 2 hours. So yeah, I got to training at about half 8, 9. Absolutely shattered.
Mm.
Having to probably try and train as best as I can, and then get the train all the way back home to West Ham. And yeah, it was a shambles, to be honest. But yeah,
Yeah, of course. I mean, so they are struggles, but every footballer goes through the highs and the lows. Obviously, getting unfortunately released by West Ham was a big low, and it is a shame to obviously be informed of that. But did you sort of see it as potentially every cloud is a silver lining? Because then you return to Worthing, and this season's been quite a season for you.
yeah, I think I got released from West Ham. I sort of knew it was coming. I found out in a sort of like early May time. Knew it was coming, and I think, to be honest, because I found out early May, I was able to enjoy the Wembley experience and the Hong Kong experience for the second time a lot more. Because before then, I was, to be honest, like it was keeping me up at night, like because I just didn't know. Deep down, I was like, no, I'm not going to keep me on. But like, you just need that clarity, and to be able to have the clarity, and then so I'll be like, right, what happens from now? It's not going to affect anything. Just go out and enjoy myself. And then going back to Worthing, like I just knew I'll be able to enjoy my football now. Everyone knows me. I've been there since a kid. Everyone's going to treat me nice and like welcome me back, and no hard feelings for leaving and everything. And like going back was the best decision I made really, and it was always one that I considered even when I was at West Ham, like going back there on loan possibly and stuff. So Worthing's obviously always going to have a special place in my heart for so many reasons, and to go back there in this season and be able to be part of the history-making season of us going up to the National League is just an absolute privilege, and I'm so proud of the boys for getting over the line, because it was an emotional wreck after that game against Ebbsfleet.
Could I ask you about some of the games that happened this season? So Enfield Town, a side that unfortunately got relegated again. We spoke to their star centre back Adam Thompson.
Yeah.
There were two games that you actually didn't win. You drew both of them. So for you to draw in both games to a side that is lower down the table, what is that like behind the scenes in the changing room for a side that ultimately ended up winning the league?
I think if you actually look at our form against the teams that went down, it's actually quite abysmal. We drew both games against Chippenham. We drew one and lost one against Bath. We beat Eastbourne Borough twice, but then we drew both times to Enfield. So actually, we only picked up 2 wins against any of the teams in the bottom 4. So that says it all, really. Like, no matter what team you're playing in that league, they're going to pose different challenges. And we've really struggled against teams that set up in a low block and made us be patient. And when we play against a team like Dorking or Torquay, they come at us, leave gaps, and there's more space for the likes of Raz, who we spoke about earlier, and myself, to just have a bit more freedom in that final third, which means creating chances a bit more easily. And the teams at the lower end of the division made that a lot harder for us, and we did struggle. And in the change room, it was, got a bit feisty at times in those games. But I think those moments help us build character, help us build a bit of self-belief. You have to look at it and think, well, we've done these things positively, but we need to work on this. And then, ended up beating teams when it really mattered at the end of the season, like Dorking and Torquay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it came down to fine margins. Obviously, Worthing, Hornchurch, Torquay, Dorking, Hemel Hempstead, Western Supermare, all teams that were in with a big shot at the title.
Yeah.
But as you said, you stepped up, delivered big performances. 26 goals for you. Now it's hard to pick, but what was your favourite one of the season?
I don't like Eastbourne Borough away.
Okay, talk us through that one then.
Hands down, the best moment of the whole season. I've not felt feeling like that ever in my life. It was a big game. Also, Boxing Day. It was early kickoff. It was quite feisty with the fans and everything. Just a big game in itself. And obviously, Tommy and Hugo, being the gaffers at the time, had a bit of a point to prove against them both. And although they're lovely people, did have a little bit against them. Obviously, basically got released from West Ham, not because of them, but because of what happened and stuff. So had a bit more fire in my belly and stuff, and like to put away. It was a really tough game. Really tough game. And to put away in the 89th minute to make it 2-0 to sort of settle it down, as we were really under the cosh second half. Yeah, they really got after the second half, and we defended really well, and we didn't get too many opportunities second half. So to put it away in the 89th minute. I was getting a lot of stick from the fans behind the goal as well. But,
as you always do.
It was a moment that I can't describe. It was just an unbelievable moment, and then 4 days later on my birthday, scoring against Dorking as well, probably the best goal I scored all season as well.
Perfect.
So that's probably a close second.
Perfect timing. I wanted to mention Dorking there. Harry and I are part of the Enfield Ultras in that Dorking away end, and we definitely made some sort of noise. But when you went to play Dorking, obviously you won both games. You scored in a 3-2 win. What's it like to play against a side that is so social media savvy, that is definitely a worldwide name?
Yeah, it was pretty daunting. I remember my mum dropping me off at the home game, and as I'm getting out of the car, I've literally got the BOA camera like straight in my face, and I was like we're not even away, and like the cameras were in my face.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty daunting, and especially with all like the fans, obviously, like myself, like I watch BOA all the time, so all the fans are excited. I'm well excited. Like, I'm still like quite young, so like stuff like this is like a new experience for me. All the crowd getting lively with Mark White and everything, and all started kicking off before the game, and then when the game happens, you know you're playing against a good side. So all the camera stuff, everything like that goes out the window. You know you're playing against a good side, top of the table clash, and obviously scoring that game was pretty decent.
Now, obviously, you've earned yourself a 1-year contract extension for the next campaign. But what are your realistic sort of aspirations? Because obviously, look, to go up again would be unbelievable, but you sort of have to set those reasonable limits and expectations.
Yeah, I think like for us, really, I think a good season, like where anyone looking at it, would be to stay in the division. But I think inside the dressing room and like being a part of the club, it's always ambitious, and like that we all want playoffs, and like I feel like we're more than capable with the people we've got in the building, and we've got such a great support network around us that I think it's more than capable if we knuckle down. And I think just playing in the National League next season is going to be an unbelievable achievement for the club and for everyone involved. So just buzzing to get started, really.
There are some really good teams in that National League. Obviously, unfortunately, Barnet aren't in there next season. They're in the mighty EFL League 2. But for you, obviously, as you mentioned there, that is the aim, that is the ambition for yourself, and I'm sure that you'll get there, if not with Worthing, then with another club, if I'm allowed to say that. But with yourself, what is the most exciting club you're looking forward to be playing next season?
I think, it's a hard question because there's so many you could choose, but for me personally, it would probably be Southend.
They're
And I've played there for all the shot, and it was a Tuesday night game, and it was just absolute like the experience was just like everything like as a kid, like in front of like a forced stand stadium, like it was pretty full. But for me, it felt pretty full, and like, there was a drama and everything. And I remember I was on the pitch, and I was like, wow, this is just unbelievable. So to be able to hopefully experience that again would be pretty cool. And but there's so many you could choose from, so many.
Now, my last sort of point that I want to touch upon is obviously upon the next campaign, I would love to come down and watch a game, watch yourself play. I'm sure Jamie would as well. So if we can make that happen, we absolutely will. But yeah, look, I just wish you the best ahead for the next campaign, because you certainly got it in you. You and the boys can go and achieve big things. So all the best of luck for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, and if you ever need tickets or anything, I'm more than happy to help you, mate. More than happy to help you both.
Really appreciate
Harry,
it.
how far is where you're going to uni compared to Worthing? Is it close?
Bournemouth and Worthing, I mean, they're both South Coast, but I don't think they're
the South
very,
Coast. It's
very
closer
near.
than where we are to Worthing.
I'll have to check, but it's probably
It's about 2 hours.
Two hours?
2 hours.
Yeah, because they're like this, aren't they?
What?
They're fairly spread apart, but I'll try my best to make it happen.
I mean, you could probably watch us away at Eastleigh.
Yeah, that's a very good shout.
I'll have to get the map out and start looking at all the London clubs. I don't think there's many National League London clubs. But I wanted to speak to you quite... well, I wouldn't usually ask this question, in fact, because I wouldn't know who to ask it to, but I think you're the right kind of guy. Footballers have their DMs packed with all sorts of messages. What is in your DMs?
What is in my DMs?
Apart from Harry's invites to come on the pod.
Yeah, apart from that, no, it's just a lot of like... I don't know, it's a lot of like, people asking for signed stuff, I guess. And like agents as well. A lot of them messaging in the DMs, and your mate sending you Instagram reels constantly. That's in there as well. But nothing really too exciting. I feel like quite a lot of the people asking for signed stuff is just like still like a bit like I'm just Brad, like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm nothing special. Like, why would you want something signed from me? But it's mainly just my mate sending me Instagram reels, to be honest.
Well, I've got to ask you, my final question, again, is off the pitch related, but you've had a very good season, probably a long campaign, as you mentioned. But what's coming up this summer? Are you going away with the lads who send you the Instagram reels? Are you chilling with the Chinese? What's going on?
Nah, I haven't actually chilled with Chinese yet, but that is definitely on the list. Yeah, well, I think we've got about a month to go now, so I've still got a couple more weeks to enjoy myself. I've been away to Spain twice, once with the lads after winning the league, and then once with family, and then I'm going away with the missus in a couple of weeks. So yeah, looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I will, mate. Yeah, I'm going to Croatia, so hopefully be
Nice.
a new experience. I
Nice.
love travelling, so just excited to tick off a new country.
Absolutely. So now that we've warmed up, are you ready to hit record?
Bit of panic there,
For
wasn't
a
there?
second now, I was like, no, you can't be serious.
No, absolutely not. No, look, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Brad. So again, thank you very much for coming on, Jamie. Pleasure as
Well, thank
always.
you very much, Brad. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, pleasure being on. Both good lads. So yeah, it was a good chat.
And best of luck for the future.
Yeah,
campaign.
thank you very much,
We'll
lads.
come down
You
and
too.
Thank you.
Yeah, just let me know and I'll sort you out.